We know that China is becoming an increasingly important market. You've identified the Greater Bay Area, for instance,
That's
and
right.
areas such as wealth. Give us a sense of the opportunities you see in China.
We're partnering with Chinese banks, so there would be expected a lot of referrals of customer coming to Hong Kong. And even without this, we have been building up our Greater China strategy for quite some years now. We have our premier private clients, and indeed we call them, some of them are offshore. So we're serving them in Singapore from various countries. So for the last 3 years, we have seen actually that number increase by 50%, 50. But if we look at from those from China, increased by 100%.
Talk to us about the ambition and the strategy to get there. When you take a look at your income, China accounts for about 14% of your total income. What are the projections? What are you looking at?
No, China account actually 25%. Yeah, we're still very much our home base is Singapore, so Singapore continues to contribute a substantial amount of our profit. But we know China is the second largest economy in the world, and we know that China is now so much more linked with the rest of Asia. So ASEAN becomes China's biggest trade partner, and the intra-Asian trade is growing substantially. So we do know that is this opportunity. We have, since our acquisition of Wing Hang Bank in Hong Kong in 2014, established our presence in Greater China, and we have about 19 branches around China, Hong Kong. And so in a way, we are there and we're ready. And it is indeed the trade flows that we're capturing. The investment, there are so many more Chinese customers coming to ASEAN, using Singapore as a base and then expanding further into, for example, Indonesia. It's a big market for them. So there are different industries all coming, and of course, not just counting the Chinese investors, you're also looking at some of the multinational companies, some of the Taiwanese companies, Koreans, Japanese, who have been adopting what we call the China Plus One strategy. So having a second stop in Southeast Asia in that sense.
Are you well set up for all your growth plans, your strategy? Do you see the need to hire further in the next 12, 24 months?
Oh, we will hire further. Using wealth as an example, our Bank of Singapore establishment in Hong Kong, we doubled our RM numbers from 2018 to now, and we're going to double that again in another 2 years. So that's one example. And then for handling the trade flows, the capital investments, we are also expanding. We're still expanding what we call our China Business Office. The first one started in Singapore in 2012. And we have now China Business Offices in Thailand, in Vietnam, in Malaysia, and we are increasing the presence in Indonesia as well.
How concerned are you about the infectious Delta variant that's still hampering the growth in most of the markets that you mentioned in Southeast Asia?
Yeah, I think this is the uncertainty we talk about. So this year or last year, I think a lot of anyone in the financial industry is to make sure that we continue to serve the customer. I think that's pretty much done and done well. But again, we want to be prudent as well in looking at what are the opportunities, but also always recognizing the challenges.